Hello, it's Catherine. So, somebody came up to me at one of my events this morning who knows that I have been teaching LinkedIn for the last 9 years and asked me a question. And he said, I think LinkedIn is an absolute waste of time. Convince me otherwise. I actually love questions like this because I know what he feels like. And I was there the first couple of years that I was using LinkedIn, to be totally honest with you. I was frustrated, it wasn't working for me. I needed new clients, I needed new candidates. I was recruiting full-time right then, and I just thought it was a waste of time. Well, then I realized that I needed to figure out how to show up differently and how to use LinkedIn differently. And what I discovered is if LinkedIn isn't working for you and it isn't bringing you what you need, there are one of three problems. Either, number one, your profile stinks. It's either not up to par, it's not completely filled out, maybe you don't have a picture or a headline, you skipped the summary, you didn't give any details underneath your job descriptions. So there's sort of the tactical profile is not up to snuff. The number two mistake that people make with LinkedIn is the messages they send. They either aren't personalizing their messages at all. I get a lot of requests to connect with no personal message. That doesn't work. Or their personal messages are so hurried that they are cold, impersonal, or worse, rude. You should see some of the doozies that I get of people who are asking for my help, but the way they ask for it is just unbelievable. So if LinkedIn isn't working for you, number one, check your profile. Check to make sure that it's up to snuff. Number two, take a breath. Stop, slow down, and ask yourself, would I like this message? Does this read well? And if it's a really important contact you're reaching out to, send it off to somebody for advice and ask them, do a reality check on your message and say, is this a good message, or is there something different that I should say? And then number three, biggest mistake I see people making on LinkedIn is they're not out there on a regular basis. They are not engaging. They have a profile and they're expecting people to just come find them and hook up with them, and it actually doesn't work that way. The trick to engagement and getting people who want to connect with you and finding business and finding jobs and finding new friends and industry insights is to engage in groups. Don't just read the posts, actually comment, engage, share articles, and nurture your network. So if LinkedIn isn't working for you, before you give it up and decide that it's an utter waste of your time, let me just tell you that if you're looking for work, 97% of recruiters are out there. If you're looking for business, most of your business connections, decision makers are out there quietly. They are not out there on a daily basis, which means you need to be creative. And then the last thing I want you to remember is LinkedIn is a tool. There is no substitute for a handshake, a face-to-face conversation, even a phone conversation. So use LinkedIn to find people, to connect with them, and then flip that connection to an in-person as quickly as you can when appropriate. Don't be desperate or too aggressive, but know that your goal, when it's a really good connection, is to meet with them at least over the phone, if not in person, as soon as you can. So there are my tips on LinkedIn. If it ain't working for you, you're absolutely right. Something is broken. It's either your profile, the way you're reaching out to people, or how you're engaging on a regular basis. So with that, have a fantastic day. Thanks for tuning in.